Hey everyone, welcome to the Acrobatic Arts Podcast. I'm Loren, and I will be interviewing some of the top leaders and innovators from the dance and acrobatic industry. If you are a teacher, performer, student, or a lifelong learner like myself, you are sure to find these episodes intriguing and full of inspiration. Acrobatic Arts is passionate about providing current and relevant information for everyone. So please, sit back and enjoy as we share our passion with you and the world. Today we are diving into the world of teaching headstands. Whether you are a seasoned AcroDance teacher or just starting out, we've got some progressions that will take your dancers to the next level. Joining us is expert teacher Meaghan Wegg. She is going to share some of her amazing tips and techniques to guide your beginner students. Take it away, Meaghan.
Thank you. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm excited to talk about the topic of headstands. A lot of our students and even us have sensitive heads or don't understand the proper alignment of where to go. So I was excited to just talk about the basics of bringing this forward. I recently have added 5 different tiers of elite competitive teams in my own studio. And the beginners, the really beginners, ages 4 to 7, they're all totally fine with headstands. They're gung-ho, they do too much, and I have to hold them back. They're like, look what I can do. I try to play fun games with wall push-ups or stabilizing. It's just making sure that you can see that they're stable and understand the resistance that's needed for their head placement. A lot of them at that age still don't even understand the difference between doing a forward roll and tucking their head to get it to the back so it doesn't clump and then back flop. But the ones who are age 7 up to 10 or 12, they're the ones who I hear ouch a lot with on the head, or they wobble and they're not sure how to do that correct alignment and placement to find their balance. So I'm going to introduce you to my demonstrator for today. His name is Nathan, and he's on one of my high-level teams. Thank you for coming, Nathan. First, I'm going to start with stability. Stability is a different type of warm-up where we have a focus point on what we're doing. So today, we're focusing on headstands, and I'm going to break down different types of stability exercises so we can get into the minds of our students how to put a focus on what we're doing. So if you saw my weekly mini a few weeks ago, I stabilized the neck in our double chin head lift. Nathan, can you just demonstrate that quickly so we can review? You're laying on your back, your knees are bent in, your hands are pushed into the floor. Create a double chin and then hover up to the sky and then relax. And that activates the neck right here to stabilize everything around that you're about to do. Now show me incorrect technique where you just use your abs to look up at your knees. So that's not stabilizing because nothing's working here. So go back to one more correct technique, double chin and hover up. Nice. And down. Thank you. So that I wanted to touch that. I do that for a lot of different types of exercises. So this can also help for headstands. Next one, for neck stability, Nathan, go on all fours facing sideways. And again, I want you guys to introduce stacking just on the all fours. So see how his hips are on top of his knees. Now, Nathan, can you go not correct and just a bit off stacking? So this is how some people will be. See how the shoulders are not on top of his wrist. Move your shoulders forward and then you're stacked there and then you're stacked there as well. Okay. Nathan, keep your body nice and stacked, but relax your head all the way down. Okay, so now what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to ask you to activate your neck by creating a double chin from there and then lifting all the way up and holding it. And then coming back to neutral and do that again. Relax, double chin and hold, and then neutral. Good. Okay, you can relax, Nathan. That's another way of stabilizing the neck. That's a bit more simple than the one on the ground. The one on the ground that he did first takes people a bit more to understand how to do. Okay, we want to make sure our dancers have enough muscle in their arms to push into the ground. And even not making sure they have enough muscle, but understanding the resistance that's needed to stabilize for that actual skill. Next, we're going to go with our placement with hands on our knees and hollow. I noticed a lot of incorrect technique when I'm teaching for the first time. So I want to really let you know my favorite way of getting into the hand placement. So go on your knees and place the groove of your wrist and thumb in parallel next to your knees. Now, just for fun, show me a gorgeous hollow position here. Push and relax, and hollow push and relax. Now make sure you're putting lots of weight on your hands and hollow push. There we go. Okay, so this is just implicating where the hands need to go. So then what our next progression is, finding your tripod. So Nathan, visualize, notice how his eyes are looking at like a triangle right there, and then his hands are the other side. So show me where you would put your head for your tripod. Good, and come back up. Now, incorrect technique, hands and head in line. That is very, I don't want to say very dangerous, but you don't have a center of balance with your triangle to be able to stabilize. So the majority of students who do it that way will fall over, and we want to avoid that. So show me your hand placement, groove into your knees, hollow position, just so you get that focus, then go down to your tripod. Now, next from there, flex your feet and lift your hips up. And this is our downward dog on our head. And what I would just simply do here is hold it for a set time and then come down. And we're saying hello to the head being placed on the ground with half your body weight. Okay, so now let's do that again. Flex your feet, lift up. Let's say we did a few exercises. Next, let's do 2 battements on each leg, but really low. We don't need to do needles or anything. And 1 and 2, and other side, 1 and 2, and then come down. We want to introduce things slowly so they don't hate the headstand right from the start. We don't want to put fear. We want to give them an inspiration of how cool the skill is. So what we did there is, it's kind of like a 3-point balance, but it's a 4-point balance instead of a 5. Head, 2 hands, and then 1 leg at a time. So then more weight, very slightly, is getting put on the head. And then they're knowing we only have to do 2 battements, that they're almost done off the head, just in case the head hurts too much. Next after that is stacking. So another station of stacking. So this time I'm going to get Nathan to show how his hips need to be on top of his shoulders. So flex up and take a few steps. There we go. Hand placement, tripod, downward dog, and stack. And then we're ready for our teddy bear stand. 1 knee, because your knees are right there. 1 knee, and hold. And down. Now, he's been doing a lot of headstands. What I would naturally do in class is say, do a few no's with your head, and then do a few yeses, but really big yeses. And then even elongate and do a chest lift up, and then down, and then hunch, hunch, hunch. And you can press forward this way as well. There's lots of different neck stretches we could share as well. Progressing from the teddy bear stand would be hold it for 5 seconds and then practice lifting 1 knee up, down, 1 knee up, down. So your hand, your weight gets used to pushing into the ground. And then going into tuck and straight legs, and then practicing without feeling like they're going to have a fear of falling. What you could also do is do this close to a wall so that it's there. If ever their legs are up, it stops them from falling over. It is normal that if you press up and you accidentally arch, a little wave could happen. We don't want that to happen. So you always want to think, if you're looking at your feet, you should always be able to see your feet and then go into a straight line. Don't arch and then go, unless you're trying to do many different shapes. So let's go now into many different shapes. Let's do some variations. And put your head down. Why don't you straddle press? So pressing in and guiding through a straddle, and just hold that straddle. And then go up to straight. Then do a twisted tuck. So twist your torso and just tuck both knees down. And then twist back up. And now show me a diamond. And 1 leg straddle. I like to call this a lightning bolt. and the other leg straddle. And then why don't you cross your legs and a double stag and do a twisted double stag. Why don't you add a back arch in there because it's nice. Nice. And flex your feet. Point. And now let's dance our straddle. Straddle, pull from the knee and tilt, pull from the knee, tilt. There's our waves. Very pretty. Good. And then you can come down. So that was probably 20 seconds and he's taking a big breath. So that's definitely high level headstand balancing. But once you have all the foundations and the proper progressions to get there, your hands, your arms, your shoulder girdle, your neck, and your head is all protected and feeling safe. I think that's everything. I want to show you a head cartwheel. I love head cartwheels. So just working through your head balance, adding more variations. So why don't you show us, Nathan? We'll go through a straddle. And so only once you understand the tripod and the whole biomechanics of the headstand itself, you can flow through it with dance choreography. I think everything should be introduced right at the beginning. Yes, to understand the tiniest little posture with your bent arms. Handstand is a full straight arm. Understand stacking with the whole body is a lot more to take in. So starting with just the basic counterweight on your tripod is very important for a beginner tool. What acrobatic art syllabus uses the tripod for is because we progress into skills that push into a handstand, and you can push down in our skills when we need 3 inverted balances at once. Having this technique is going to allow you to do that. So I would still train many variations instead of focusing on one so that all your muscles are getting worked. Correct them each step of the way. I feel teachers may just let them try it, go with the flow, but be there, be anal, be like, nope, put your hands here. You have to have that tripod. I feel like the tripod is probably the biggest misunderstanding or mistake that could happen. So teachers correct your students too much so that they get it drilled into their hands, into their head, how to hold that headstand.
A huge thank you to our incredible guest, Meaghan Wegg, for joining us and sharing her expertise on headstands. Listeners, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to stay updated on all our future episodes. Remember, keep your feet on the ground and your head in the clouds, or better yet, up in a headstand. Thanks for listening, everyone, and have a great day.